This is a difficult topic, but she has a wonderful sermon called Remembering Tragedy and Living with Hope. I introduce Rabbi Singer. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning. Of all the emotions that we feel, the one that we humans are most averse to is sorrow. We love being happy. We love being in love. We're okay with being calm or just merely satisfied. We choose to be frightened by scary movies. We're even open to anger. But sorrow, we avoid it like the plague. And the plague that we are living through now has created an awful lot of sorrow. We've been isolated from one another, making it hard to find consolation. No hugging, no crying on a friend's shoulder. Instead, loved ones have died alone, in the hospital with only a masked stranger for company. We held too many funerals on Zoom, each of us sitting in our own home alone, weeping. It has been incredibly painful. It seems counterintuitive to choose to observe a holiday that asks us to spend more than 24 hours in sorrow, deep sorrow, especially in the middle of summer, the time of vacations and travel, family gatherings, and outdoor sports, and especially in the middle of this summer. But that's exactly what today, the Jewish holiday of Tisha B'Av, wants us to do. Even this year, while we are still dealing with the pandemic. The holiday's name translates to the date. It's the 9th day of the month of Av. It marks the saddest and most traumatic episodes in Jewish history, beginning with the destruction of the first temple in Jerusalem on 586 BCE, and the destruction of the second temple in the year 70 of the Common Era. But that wasn't all. Over the next few thousand years, terrible things continued to happen to the Jewish community in midsummer. Most recently, the invasion of the Warsaw Ghetto by the Nazis on this date. Tisha B'Av is a day of intense communal mourning. Jews are expected to fast from sunset to sunset. No food or drink. No showers or perfume or lotions or jewelry. No makeup, no leather shoes or belts. No soft chairs or pillows. Nothing that creates comfort or joy. In essence, it is a day to submerge ourselves in sorrow. The question arises, what are we mourning for? The loss of the two ancient temples in Jerusalem? Judaism has come a long way from 2 millennia ago, when it was a religion that focused primarily on a priestly class who performed sacrifices and stood as intermediaries between God and humans. I'm happier with things the way they are now. Are we mourning the expulsions from 11 different countries over the centuries, including in 1492 from Spain on this date? But Spain, England, France, and all the rest of them long ago decided to let Jews back in. The Warsaw Ghetto, in the midst of an orgy of mass killings and destruction, during which 6 million Jews were murdered, there's no reason to concentrate all our sorrow on that day's events. Commemorating Kristallnacht in November is more appropriate, as is Yom HaShoah in the spring. Perhaps we set aside a day to experience sorrow because there is value in allowing ourselves to feel pain. There is a saying among the Jewish sages that one must experience descent for the sake of ascent. That is, sometimes we have to hit rock bottom in order to rise up again. But even that is not enough, because each ascent requires yet another descent, up and down. 2 steps forward, 3 steps back. If the spiritual journey were a staircase, we would never get to the top. This dialectical understanding of spirituality emphasizes that there is something important about being in the low place, perhaps more important than being in peak moments. Out of our lowly moments, we can grow deeper, do work that otherwise we wouldn't do, and develop humility and perhaps a bit more empathy. Laura Adkins, a writer at the Forward, put it this way. She wrote, "On Tisha B'Av, our tradition offers us a clear path toward experiencing something transcendent. Our job is simply to feel sad and be still in our sadness. We lament the tragedies of Jewish history, the harsh realities of today, and our own limiting behaviors, like being unkind to one another, and we do that simultaneously." The way out is up. And the way up is accepting that we can't right the wrongs of the past, but we can begin to undo the wrongs of the present and work to prevent wrongs in the future. Adkins pointed out that one of the simplest wrongs of today is simply being unkind to one another. Working on that can take us a long way, because other wrongs are bigger and harder. Baseless hatred, gun violence, homophobia, anti-Semitism, prejudice against Black and brown people, against everyone who looks different or sounds different. There are so many things that are wrong in our world. To face these things, we just need just one: hope. Like sorrow, hope is an emotion. Unlike sorrow, it can lift us up, take us to places we never imagined, allow us to achieve great things. I'm just one person. I'm neither famous nor powerful, but that does not let me off the hook. There is a beautiful passage in Pirkei Avot, the sayings of the sages, which says, Rabbi Tarfon taught, "It is not your responsibility to finish the work of perfecting the world, but you are not free to desist from it either." It is the very act of engaging in the work that matters. Each of us can do our part, knowing that others will come after us and take up the work with glad hands. On January 6th of this year, when insurrectionists attacked the Capitol building in Washington, D.C., Representative Andy Kim was in the building. He was wearing a brand new blue suit that he had just bought off the rack at a J. Crew store. He bought it for President Biden's inauguration, but he was so excited at the news that 2 Democrats from Georgia had just been declared the winners in the state's Senate races that he wore it in celebration. But like so many others, he unexpectedly found himself hiding with a staff member while a violent mob attacked the building. When it was over, he emerged from his office to see the destruction in the building's famous rotunda. Quote, "There was trash and debris everywhere, broken furniture and broken flags, coats and gloves, cigarette butts and car keys, Trump flags and random bits of food. There was some body armor," Kim said in an interview. Quote, "This was probably the worst condition that room has ever been in. It broke my heart. I almost started crying." So instead, rather than go home to his family, he found a trash bag, knelt down on the floor, cleaning up the mess until the early hours of the morning. He wore the suit just one more time on January 13th, when he went to the House floor to vote for Trump's second impeachment. Quote, "The suit still had dust on the knees from January 6th. I wore it so I would have no doubt about the truth of what happened," he said. When he got home on the 13th, He almost threw the suit away, but instead put it in the back of his closet. He took it out almost exactly 6 months later on July 6th, when the Smithsonian National Museum of American History asked if he would donate it to them. I had tears in my eyes when I listened to him on the radio that day. He said simply, "When something is broken, you fix it." He is looking forward to the day when he can take his sons, who are now 3 and 5 years old, to the museum to see the suit behind glass, a piece of our nation's history. Sorrow is real, and it can hold us down, keep us still when we should act. By spending one day away from the rest of the world, purposely experiencing sorrow, we can then sink down and allow it to wash over us and through us. And tomorrow, the next day, we must rise up, renewed, hopeful, resilient, and ready to do the work that awaits. May we be so blessed. Olam Chesed Yibaneh, from Psalm 89. Olam Chesed Yibaneh, Yadadai, Yadadai, Yadadai. 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 I will build this world from love. Yadadai, yadai, yadadai. And you must build this world from love. Yadadai, yadai, yadadai. And when we build this world from love, yadadai, yadai, yadadai, then God will build this world from love. Yadadai, yadai, yadadai, yadai.